So why is this not a daily practice? Because we don't need to overdo it all we need to do is hold the resonance. We do not need to anxiously repeat the resonance. All we need to do is hold it. So once we're in it, baby, we're in it. And sometimes you might wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you might go like, I don't know if I'm feeling it today. If you're not feeling it, that's okay. Here's what I ask you to do. Don't uh don't go deep if you can into ruminating on negativity. If you're not feeling good, it's okay. Just surrender to the moment that you're living in. Just be, just exist, and just keep moving forward. Things will change. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to use our scripts that we wrote to shift timelines to a higher resonance. We're going to use we're going to use those scripts as tools to combat a lower resonance when it tries to creep in. This is why shifting your resonance is like the number one most powerful way to break spiritual attachments and to you can work with it as well to draw in soul fragments but I'm really aligning with the spiritual attachments aspect because when we have spiritual attachments, and let's frame what they are because people think of them as much more scary than they really need to be. Think of a spiritual attachment as not much different than a germ, not much different than a germ in your regular environment. I wouldn't go around, licking my desk because germs, right? Um, and they're not much different than parasites that we all have. Even if we do a parasite cleanse, like turns out we still have parasites. Like it's a part of life. There are other things getting energy from other things, it's part of nature. It's totally natural. And so even spiritual attachments, although people can get really creeped out by them, um, they're normal. They're totally normal. They're normal and they're natural. And so an action like this is an action like this. What lost my train of thought again. Come to me, darling. Come to me. I am forgetful, not. I am forgetful. I am forgetful, not. I am forgetful, not. An action like this is like an immune booster for the spirit. Shifting resonance is like taking your vitamins spiritually and checking in to your own resonance, seeing where it is, and then using your scripts to combat any potential germs, aka attachments that want to come into your sphere. That's just regular maintenance. That's just taking your vitamins. That's it. Nothing like has to be fancy about it. So what we're going to do then is, for example, if I did wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I checked into the resonance of my body and it's like, well, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to focus on the negative. That would not be good because that's going to take me down the map of consciousness. And next thing you know, I'm down there in the bottom. I feel ashamed for how I feel. I feel guilty. I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. Oh my gosh, no. Instead, what we want to do is don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't even worry about it, honey. I have a very simple script that just goes like this. My life is in order. My life is in order. It's fine. It's fine, baby. It's fine. If I wake up and I'm not really feeling totally whatever, it's fine. My life is in order and it's okay. I don't know how, but it is. It's fine. So see, I'm going to use one of my scripts to combat the unwanted resonance. And then just naturally what's going to happen is just tick, tick, tick. I will just tick right back up. Okay. And I can kind of feel some people are being like, it's not that simple. It's way harder than that. And listen, sometimes, to be completely honest, and I have definitely been here, I have felt before, and I just speak from my own experience, that I was so low in a pit that if somebody told me that I just needed to speak scripts to myself, it might make me mad. It might have made me really mad. And I understand that. So if you are watching this, if you watched it this far, and you have that feeling of like, I'm so sick of people saying all I have to do is talk and make myself feel better when I'm dealing with so much crap and everything, start small. Just start really, really small, and it's okay. Like, don't be hard on yourself at all. Don't think negatively of yourself. Take a little bit of time to look over that map of consciousness. And I plan to, ooh, I hope I do, put a document that you can download. I just need to figure out how. I will, don't worry, I'll figure it out. With some example scripts on it for you in case, you're just like, I don't know. But just start small. I totally understand. Y'all, I've experienced some really not so good things in my life as well. Many that could be relatable to some and some that may not be. And I know we've all been through our own things. We're not always in a place where we want to get in front of a mirror and pretend like we're well when we're not. And so I understand that. So in that kind of case, start so small and with so much love and compassion for yourself that you open a door for something that might be exactly what you need that other people may not understand. How about I can get up in the morning and find my way? I can get up in the morning. When I get up in the morning, I always find my way. When I wake up in the world, I do see good people around me. I do. So you see how we can take some of our lower feelings of never want to get out of bed. I've been there. Thinking that the world is a terrible, terrible place and there's no good people, losing our faith in humanity. A lot of people say. And we can create a script out of that that allows us to just shift our path a little bit into one that has hope. Something so, so, so simple is perfectly fine, and it's a perfectly fine beginning. So, we are going to use these scripts as ways to maintain our inner monologue. That's essentially what I mean and what I'm saying when I say that we're going to use these scripts as tools now. We're no longer going to allow our inner monologue to remain at a lower resonance. I get it. We may wake up with that feeling, or our day, our moods shift throughout the day. The planets shift throughout the day. The people around us and our environment shifts throughout the day. And so oftentimes we're feeling so many feelings, but we want to use our script. If we want to maintain this resonance shift, we want to use our script to maintain our inner monologue, which means you decide what's true. You're the star, you're the writer, you're the director. Some negative inner voice that's not you doesn't get to decide your life, doesn't get to decide your movie, doesn't get to write the script. You do. And that's what this is about. Let's see, let me do a little reassessment here of where we are. So we talked about God, we talked about the mirror, we talked about not overdoing it, right? That we do not need repetition. We do not need to do this every day. What we need to do is just hold, right? We talked about combating lower resonances with higher resonant sound waves. We talked about using joy. We talked about massaging our scripts, right? So now let's talk about how this might show up in our lives. So let's hold a gentle expectation, okay? I'll give you an example. Um, if you, so I had a script for a person who I was picking up every day. This could be for in your life, it might be a roommate, it might be a child, it might be a partner. But I had a script for them and for their enjoyment of life because a lot of times they had a stressful day. And so when I was picking them up and they were on their way to the car, I would begin, I would speak the script that I had for the joy and abundance of their life. And I would smile because I wanted to spark the joy resonance within that script. So I would smile as I said it, and I would be at peace, and I would get the resonance within myself, and I would release it, right? Which is an act of surrender. And that created just a gentle expectation within myself, a small bit of excitement. And do you know that almost every time when they got in the car, they had some really good, positive stories about their day and about their life. And whether it was related to what I said or not, which I feel it was in many instances, I connected it to that, honey. Not to say that I told the person, oh, I spoke that into existence for you. No, nobody wants to hear that. I promise you, don't do it. Um, More so in a state of knowing. So I took that opportunity to take this bit of evidence and tie it to my state of knowing to expand on the resonance that I had created in that environment. Okay. So we're going to sporadically check in with ourselves to make sure that we're staying in tune. I talked about that. You'll just kind of check in. And if you feel you need to sit down with one of your scripts or with all of your scripts, do it. It's time. So if maybe it's been 2 days, maybe it's been 3 days, maybe it's been a week, and you haven't sat down with all of your scripts in a couple days or whatever, test it out. Go back and go through the list and just kind of check and see where you're falling in your resonance and does anything need to be massaged. So over time, the passing of the resonances through all of your chakras kind of will be like a faster process. You'll be so in touch with your body and with your chakras that you will literally pass it through without even really having to pause much. You'll just sort of feel it and you'll be aware of your full being. Until that happens, then just do a similar exercise. Just kind of remember we're just breathing into those spaces, speaking into those spaces, keeping an open mind as we experience how those scripts hit, right? So that's how you check the resonance. And don't start thinking to yourself like, oh, I don't need to do it. She said I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it. And then next thing you know, you're going to be like, it didn't even work. I don't, no, you really do have to check in with your resonance. And you really do have to do the inner work of combating the um, the negative self-talk. So replacing the self-talk that might go against your scripts and your monologues, replacing it with the scripts. So those are two pieces of work that really do have to happen fairly consistently, but not daily because we don't want to obsess. Definitely check in daily with your energy, but you don't have to obsess because we don't want to create fear. We don't want to create anxiety, right? Okay, so we may notice that the world around us begins to change. We may notice that our family is affected. We may notice that our home and our neighbors are affected because the power of our resonance, it has the power to change the whole world. That's what's so cool about this. You will notice that your habits will change in alignment. Not only will the external world begin to change for you to create the truth, excuse me, but your own habits will change to begin to align to the truth. So think of it as we have energy going out and we have energy coming in, right? We've created this big orb of resonant energy all around us, and the energy going out and the energy coming in are in alignment with that resonance. And so we see the world outside of us start to change and start to shift. We see the world within ourselves start to change and start to shift. And then when that happens, our habits will just suddenly change. And it's like, won't be even really that big of a deal. It just is. So, like literally, that's how it's going to be. It's just going to be like, it didn't take a lot of effort. Just kind of happened. Huh. And when that happens, take it in stride. Don't obsess, okay? I get it. I get it. We like to obsess sometimes. I totally understand. Okay, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so this next one, I said this next group, I said these are my my opinions of potential results. So attachments will fall off, as we talked about, right? Because the attachments can only attach because it's almost like you could think of it as like spiritual transmitters, neurotransmitters, but they're spiritual, that the attachment can cling on to. And if it's not there for it, the connection's not there. So attachments will fall off. Sickness may reverse. You may begin to sleep better. You may begin to dream more. You may begin to heal more quickly. Um, Especially, let me say, if you are feeling ill, I'll tell you, one of the ways that I work with illness, if I feel illness in my body, typically pass it pretty quickly. And one of those methods that I use is passing through all of my body, all of my energy, primary points of energy, like we did today, passing it through that I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm strong. And I also like to say, I'm not my body. So I am not sick. My body may be dealing with something, but I am not sick because I am not my body. Remember what I am. Remember what you are. This huge soul with these huge angelic helpers and beings and God and all the greatest aspects of source are all within me and me within it. So this is one of the ways once you start working with this resonance shifting, you can use resonance shifting to combat illness. Let's see. Looking at my notes, you will begin to align with your higher self. You'll begin to align with your higher soul frequency. So definitely things are going to change. And not only will things change, but primarily what will happen first is you'll feel different. And this is where the illusion falls away because you go, wait a minute. I thought I could only feel good and feel high in life on life if I had all of these things. I don't have these things, yet I shifted my resonance to a person who has all of these things, and my life is still kind of the same for now, you know? You'll notice that at first. You'll notice that you are operating in your higher soul frequency before the material changes come. And that's really how it works. That's exactly how we create our reality, whether it be high or low, whether it be good or bad. We vibrate at the frequency first, and then the material matter around us begins to align, right? So, again, you're the writer, you're the star. So now you're just intentionally doing it versus somebody else handing you a script who, did you sign up for this, right? So let's focus on that's what it means when we say creating our own reality. I always thought it sounded kind of, I don't get it. And I kind of thought it sounded a little bit like BS, to be honest with you. I thought, because I saw people like trying to sell workshops and stuff, like how to do it and everything. And then one day it just clicked. Um, yeah, that it's essentially energy work. Okay. So some things might break down in life. Um, you know, some things might break in order for them to be fixed, right? So it might be that we put a new resonance out and a couple things in our life go, "Gah, gah, 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 gah," and they start to break down. And so don't be afraid, okay? Thou shalt not fear, for I am with you. You are with helpers. You are not alone. And so if you're shifting timelines, one of them is going to break down, dissolve, and go away. And so, it's like that equivalent of like you're on your way to work and you forgot a paper that you needed, and so you have to drive back home and you're in so much traffic and everything just sucks, but then you get to work and it turns out that it was a really good thing that you weren't there earlier in the day, and it's really good that you're here now. You know, we just we have these moments where we don't understand that something breaking down, like in our lives, is contributing to the remake. It's contributing to the buildup, the new buildup.